Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Fanatics. I'm Brayden, and today you guys voted in my Instagram poll if you wanted me to review a monster movie or a slasher movie for the first movie review in October. You guys voted slasher movie. No, you guys voted monster movie, sorry. And here I am talking about Alien from 1979. But before we begin, if you guys like my new October/horror movie background, please leave a like for it down below. I will be keeping this up for the entire month of October, but if we get comments or likes to leave it up, I will leave it up, and this might be my new background depending on what people think. And with all that out of the way, let's jump into Alien from 1979, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Sigourney Weaver, Ian Holm, Tom Skerritt, and Yaphet Kotto. This movie was revolutionary when it came out, from a special effects standpoint, from a creature design, from the actors, from the cast, to the everything about this movie was revolutionary for the time, and for good reason. If all two of you who don't know the plot of Alien, here it is. The crew of the ship Nostromo is awoken from hypersleep to investigate a distress signal on a planet. One thing leads to another, and now there is a gigantic alien creature on board, and it starts picking them off one by one, and that's it. This movie, now, I love horror movies, and I never really get scared. There are very few that scare me, but this movie is terrifying, because you don't see the creature all that much. That's what makes it scary. That's the same thing with Jaws. The reason why that movie's so terrifying is that you don't see the monster. Same with Alien. It's a full hour, I think, or more before we see the full-grown alien creature, but the beats leading up to it are like its life cycle. You discover that it goes from an egg to a weird creature to another small creature, and then it grows to the life-size alien. That's never been done before, and you've seen it a million times in movies nowadays, but back in 1979, audiences were horrified by this movie. It was just this thing that blew up in people's minds, and they were like, oh my gosh, sci-fi movies could be good for once, and not just some throwaway B movie. This movie proved it. And if you've never seen this movie, I'm going to be definitely getting into spoilers. You've been warned. Let's talk about this thing. Let's just jump right into the threshold on this. Let's talk about the infamous chestburster scene. Everyone knows that scene. Even if you've never seen this movie, it's spoofed so many times, most notably in Spaceballs. It's spoofed, but this chestburster scene was never seen before back in 1979. You've got to take into account that this had never been done before. And when that thing pops out of that guy's chest, it's the most violent thing you've ever seen in a movie. It's violent, and I have stories from all the actors who have said this in interviews multiple times, that they didn't really know that was going to happen. Like they knew some details, but the actress who plays Lambert, I can't remember her name right now, but she didn't know that she was going to have blood spraying directly at her in one of the shots. So that was genuine shock and terror on her face, and that's what makes that scene so realistic, is that the shock and terror on their faces is genuine shock and terror. When that thing pops out of that guy's chest, blood spraying everywhere, they're really like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? And that's what's so great about this movie, is that it's the unexpected beat after beat after beat. This movie is fantastic. It's amazing. There's legit no flaw. I guess the one thing you can talk about is that how did it grow up so fast, but that's just in the life cycle of this creature that we call the xenomorph now, is that's just how it grows. It grows up quickly, and that's even more terrifying. But people might say that the first hour or so is boring. I think it's just as exciting and entertaining as the second hour of the movie. This movie's over 2 hours long, but if you watch it with the right eyes, and if you're in the right mood to watch it, it flies by. I saw this movie in theaters for its 40th anniversary last year, and seeing it in a theater, it made it feel fresh, but it also made it feel a lot faster than it actually is, because it is a 2.5 hour movie, But sometimes if you're in the right mood to watch it, it feels like 20 minutes. That's what's so great about this movie. It's never boring, but when I was a kid, I thought it was kind of boring. It's never boring because my taste in movies has matured. This movie will stand the test of time for so many generations to come. It's one of the greatest sci-fi movies, one of the greatest monster movies, one of the greatest horror movies, and arguably one of the greatest movies ever made. This is my favorite Ridley Scott film as well. Without a doubt, this is my favorite Ridley Scott film. He directed the crap out of this movie. Everything is perfect. Every shot is lined up to be perfection. The ship, called the Nostromo, it's one of the coolest ships ever. It feels dirty and lived in. These characters feel lived in even. Well, how they bicker back and forth with each other. It feels real. It feels like they just got like 7 high school buddies in a room and said, okay, action. That's what they feel like. But the one actor I want to talk about in this review, actually there's 2. One of them is Ian Holm as Ash, the science officer who you later find out, spoiler alert, is an android. If you don't know about that the first time, and after you see the twist and everything, if you watch it a second time, there are shots of him looking around, which on first viewing could be just, he's just looking around. But he's analyzing these situations, like how can he get this life form on board. That's what's so brilliant about this movie. It's visual storytelling, and Ridley Scott was a master of visual storytelling. But the actor that deserves all the credit is Sigourney Weaver as Ripley. She owns every scene she's in. In the third act, when she has to step up and when she's the last one left on this ship and she has to run through the ship, and the ship's a maze. I can't even keep track of the room she keeps going in and out of. She's pitch perfect in this movie. She's exciting. She's enthralling. You really feel like she's on like a time crunch in this movie, that she has to do all these things and kill the alien and get to the evacuation pod, and she keeps getting thrown fastballs throughout the entire third act of this movie that she has to overcome. And that's what's brilliant about the third act. It's so exciting. And when you think she's caught a break, there's one more curveball that she's being thrown until the movie finally ends. And you're just sitting there. You're like, what just happened? This movie, I can't say anything more about it. Go watch it, please. It's perfect. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. And without a doubt, Alien deserves an A+. Obviously, I love this movie. I watch it once or twice a year, along with Aliens. I don't watch the rest of them that often. Just the first 2. But anyway, let's not dwell on those. Alien is amazing. I adore it. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and write comments below about your thoughts on Alien or my new backdrop. And I will see you next time. This has been Brayden from the Movie Fanatics, signing off now. If you excuse me, I have to go kill some xenomorphs.